Hello guys, welcome to Just Top 10. One of the world's largest gold coins is a 221-pound behemoth from Canada called the Big Maple Leaf. The 21-inch wide coin had been housed in Berlin's Bode Museum, but it was stolen on March 27, 2017, and police have no idea how the thieves pulled it off. While it's too early to say whether the Berlin coin robbery will go down in history like the following 10 unsolved heists, it definitely fits the bill as an interesting crime caper. Top 10 Unresolved Heists Not to be Forgotten. On number 10, the Harry Winston Heist. The posh Harry Winston jewelry store in Paris was the scene of a 2008 smash-and-grab robbery in which four men dressed as women stormed into the store, pushed employees and customers into a corner at gunpoint, stole almost every piece of jewelry on display and emptied two storage cases in the back. They made a fast getaway with more than $100 million in merchandise, making it the largest jewel robbery ever in France and one of the largest in the world. 8 men were arrested in what the French media dubbed the steal of the century. The man believed to be the mastermind, Stewart, was sentenced to 15 years in prison, while others received as little as 9 months in jail. On number 9, Brink's-Mat robbery in Britain. In the morning hours of November 26, 1983, 6 men wearing balaclavas entered a warehouse at London's Heathrow Airport belonging to security company Brink's-Mat. The warehouse vault contained more than $3 million in cash, which the robbers knew because they had help from the inside. What they didn't know was that the vault also contained more than 3 tons, 7,000 bars, of gold bullion. The armed men tied up the guards and poured gasoline on them, threatening to light a match if they didn't offer up the keys and the codes to the vault. The thieves loaded the gold into a van and drove off, but they weren't free for very long. On number 8, Dunbar robbery in Los Angeles. In September 1997, at least 6 men stole $18.9 million in cash from the Dunbar Armored Truck Depot in Los Angeles. Their evening began at a house party in Long Beach, where they went to establish an alibi. But they sneaked out shortly thereafter, changed into black clothing, and drove to the depot, entering through a side door shortly after midnight. Somehow, a plastic tail light lens fell off at the scene, which the FBI later matched to the rented U-Haul. The mastermind, Alan Pace III, was a former security officer for Dunbar who was very familiar with the security process. He was convicted along with the rest of the group, 4 of whom pleaded guilty. On number 7, the Great Train Robbery in England. On August 8, 1963, a train going from Glasgow to London was ambushed on the Bridgend Railway Bridge in Buckinghamshire by a group of 15 robbers who rigged the track signals to stop the train in a remote location. The robbers didn't have guns, but they did beat up the train driver before running away with over £2.6 million, equivalent to $61 million US today. Ringleaders were sentenced to 30 years in prison, including Ronald Arthur Ronnie Biggs, who later escaped, and Bruce Napoleon Reynolds, who went on to work as a consultant for a movie, Buster, released in 1988, and published the autobiography of a thief, the man behind the Great Train Robbery in 1995. On number 6, Banco Central robbery in Fortaleza, Brazil. The Guinness Book of World Records awarded this heist the title of greatest robbery of a bank, and the plot sounds like something straight out of a movie. In 2005, a group of men rented a property and set up shop posing as a landscape company a few blocks from the Banco Central in Fortaleza, Brazil. They spent 3 months digging a tunnel, about 256 feet long and 13 feet below street level from their office to directly below the bank. Over the course of a weekend in August, they used the tunnel to get into the bank, and managed to avoid or disable all the bank's sensors, thanks to a tip from a bank employee. From there, they broke through nearly 4 feet of steel-reinforced concrete to enter the vault and stole 5 containers weighing more than 7,000 pounds and holding about $70 million worth of reals, Brazilian currency. Bank employees didn't know anything had happened until they arrived at work Monday morning. And by then, the robbers had already fled the area. However, they made 2 mistakes that led to their demise. On number 5, D.B. Cooper and a stolen plane. In November 1971, a cunning air pirate known as D.B. Cooper skyjacked Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 headed from Portland, Oregon, to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. About 30 minutes after takeoff, Cooper told a flight attendant he had explosive devices and demanded $200,000, 4 parachutes and a refueling truck upon landing at SeaTac. Indeed, once the plane landed, Cooper's requests were met, and he released the passengers before taking off with a pilot and a handful of crew members for his desired destination of Mexico City. However, Cooper didn't intend to complete the journey. He strapped on a parachute and, from 10,000 feet in the air, jumped out of the plane into the night 30 minutes after taking off from SeaTac. To this day, we do not know who D.B. Cooper was, and the FBI has processed thousands of suspects in the case of America's only unsolved skyjacking. On number 4, the Plymouth mail truck robbery. In August 1962, a team of criminals dressed as police officers and armed with guns ambushed a mail truck traveling from Plymouth, Massachusetts, to the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Using an elaborate scheme involving fake highway workers and traffic detours, the men got away with $1.5 million in cash, all in bills smaller than $20, and only some of it recorded in what was, at the time, the largest cash heist in history. The postal workers were blindfolded, bound and gagged, and put in the back of the truck. One of the men, authorities believe there were 6 of them, got in the driver's seat and drove for a while before abandoning the truck with the mailmen still inside. The remaining defendants were found not guilty, and the money was never recovered. On number 3, the Antwerp diamond heist. The Antwerp World Diamond Center in Belgium is the diamond exchange capital of the world, and in February 2003, it was the site of a $100 million diamond heist. A group of Italian thieves, known as the School of Turin, broke into the underground vault of the Antwerp Diamond Center, then protected by infrared heat detectors, sophisticated locks, with 100 million possible combinations, and 8 other layers of security. Despite this, the gang successfully looted 123 of the vault's 160 safes, without setting off any alarms or leaving behind any signs of forced entry. Security did not notice until the following day. An Italian man named Leonardo Notarbartolo, a career thief, was convicted of being the ringleader and has since been paroled. On number 2, the Tucker Cross theft. In 1955, a Bermudian man named Teddy Tucker was scuba diving in the wreckage of the San Pedro, a Spanish ship that sank near the Florida Keys during a hurricane in 1594, and he found this 22-karat gold and emerald cross. He brought it home and sold it to the government of Bermuda, and it was displayed in a museum on the island, that he and his wife owned and ran, for several years. However, in 1975, just before an official visit by Queen Elizabeth II, the cross was stolen and replaced with a cheap replica. Authorities don't know who stole the cross, which was considered to be the most valuable object ever found in a shipwreck, or where it may be now. On number 1, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum robbery in Boston. On March 18, 1990, 2 men disguised as police officers walked into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston and told the security guard they were responding to a call. The guard let them enter, but once inside, they handcuffed that guard and a second one, and locked them in the basement. They got away with 13 extremely valuable pieces of art worth $500 million, including Rembrandt's Storm on the Sea of Galilee, A Lady and Gentleman in Black, and a self-portrait from Vermeer's The Concert, Hovert Flink's Landscape with an Obelisk, 5 Edgar Degas Impressionist works, and Edward Manet's Chez Tortoni. To this day, no one knows who the robbers were or where they hid the goods from the largest theft of private property in history. The Gardner Museum is offering a $5 million reward for information leading to the recovery of these works in good condition. Thank you guys for watching this video.
We hope you liked this video. If you want to suggest us any topic, please comment below in comment box.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon.
Take care of yourselves, friends and family members. Bye for now.
Adios amigos.